Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Norm's Friends. My name's David B., also known as the Readings Guy. You can reach me at 603-404-9338. Also at biffid, biffid, at yahoo.com. And of course, I have a website now that probably has nothing on it but contact info, but it's out there anyway, thereadingsguy.com. All right, so welcome. I hope everyone's enjoying the nice spring weather so far. It started yesterday. And today, no guest today, so it's just me. I have tarot cards. I have psychic oracle cards today. And I also have my trusty little crystal ball. If anyone wants any of these readings, one of these readings, you can give us a call at 603-640-3091. So there you have it. Until that happens, what can I tell you? Everybody, you know I love to talk about current events, what's going on, the deceptions that I see going on, the injustices that I see going on, the anti-American crap that I see going on. So I guess we can just get right down to it. First, I always like to start with my favorite person out there that just loves spewing hate, racism, sexism. If it can divide the country, if it can divide people and get people wanting to attack others, she's the person that you want to watch. And of course, you know the program, The View, and who is she? No other than Whoopi. And do you love her now? She's talking about with the Supreme Court justice hearings. Well, that's a lot to talk about. Anyway, she's going on that the Republicans are doing nothing but whining and wasting their time. And she's talking about, thank you, she's talking about, you know, what jerks they are because, you know, they have questions to ask her. And how unruly they are, rude they are, because they're asking her questions. Little does she forget about Brett Kavanaugh and what is her name, Amy Coney Barrett, when they were running, how the Democrats wouldn't even let the proceedings begin. They kept, Mr. Chairman, that's a whole nother story, and I'm just going to keep repeating it because I just can't believe that people are this naive, people are this blind, and people are outright this really dumb to keep believing these Democrats who do absolutely nothing for the American people except try to conquer them, except take away your rights, except take away your liberties, except oppress you, and except to suppress you, and the list goes on and on and on. I just cannot believe that Americans just don't care about their country at all. It's just incredible. So also, if anybody wants to call up with comments, topics you want to talk about, by all means, give me a call. And the also about the Supreme Court justice hearings, you know, the Democrats got, what's her name? Let me see, Judge Jackson. Got her records hours after the Democrats did. So, you know, again, and they go on, this is what gets me, it's all, the Democrats go on and on and on and on and on about the Republicans. The Republicans don't call anyone racist. They don't call anyone hateful. They don't try to divide anyone, but it's the Democrats. You know why? They're scared. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do now for the midterms. That's why, you know, they're sort of still can't believe their luck with this Ukraine war because it's taken, or at least they're attempting to whitewash what's going on in this country by focusing on nothing but what's going on half a world away in Ukraine, and their sort of logic or their strategy is to blame every single thing that's going on here on Putin. However, what they're overlooking is let's face it, everything that's going on in this country with inflation, with the high prices, with the empty shelves in the grocery stores and in the department stores. I mean, this is America. This is pathetic. It's like a third world country. What you can do is you can thank your President Obama. Yes, it's not Biden. Biden is there. Let's face it. Biden is there in name only. Have you heard him talking? The guy does not know if it's day or night, and if he doesn't even probably realize if he's still breathing. Another pathetic thing going on, but this is just Obama 3, destroy America, and they're doing it. And again, I can't believe people just sit back and relax and go, well, I can still turn the TV on. Good afternoon. Welcome to Norm's Friends. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. You turned in right away today at the beginning. How nice.
Why not?
Hey, I got to ask you, how'd that reading turn out?
The reading turned out okay, but I love the Democrats. They do a lot. You got to remember that.
What do they do? Help me out.
They do all kinds of things. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
I know, we'd be a lot better off if it wasn't for them. Yeah, we could disagree, but tell me some things. Tell me some of these incredible, these accomplishments that they've had since our new administration. I'm curious because I just don't see any.
You don't see any because you don't look.
Well, that's why I'm asking you. So what have the Democrats accomplished?
They helped us out with the money at the time. They helped us out with everything.
Well, they helped you out with your own money.
And I hope that judge gets in.
Well,
she's do a wonderful, wonderful job.
She may or may not. I haven't watched the hearings because...
I have a feeling, yes.
Well, she probably will get in. I mean, let's face it. It's politics, so she probably will get in. But still, speaking of the new justice... She won't define the term woman, and which is pathetic because she is a woman, and she can't define the word woman. She doesn't have an opinion of when life begins. She can't answer the question of whether...
Do you have an opinion when life begins?
I most certainly do.
Help the world?
I do have an opinion of when life begins. When there's a heart... I do. When there's a heartbeat. I certainly do. Yes, indeed. So, and what else? What have the Democrats done besides...
You're always knocking the Democrats down. We're all important.
I'm not saying they're not important, but they're anti-American of what they're doing. They're anti-American.
You're a Republican.
I am not a Republican. Just so you'll know, I'm not a Republican. I've never been a Republican. I'm pro-American. I'm an independent voter, just so you know.
I am too. I'm independent too. But what's right is right. You'll see.
Well, that's right.
And you got your crystal ball with you, right?
I do have my crystal ball with me.
Well, can you give me a reading, please?
I sure can. Yes, I can. So the first thing I'm seeing in here
Everybody matters. Just remember that, though.
What?
Everybody matters. Just remember that.
No question.
I don't care who it is.
I agree, but like I said, I'm pro-American.
No more of that Republican stuff.
No, it's pro-American. See, we won't go there. It's not Republican. It's pro-American. All right. Anyway, I'm seeing in here the letter F. So whatever that means to you, the letter F could be, somebody's name. I have some significance to you. I'm also seeing that somebody, I'm going to say within the next week, somebody is, they got a lot to say to you. Not in a bad way, but, they're sort of going to be make sure you hear them. Let's put it that way. All right, and what it's going to do is they're going to, whatever it is that they're sort of adamant about making a point about, as usual, it's going to sort of go back at them and bite them, just so you'll know. So that's coming. Let's see.
Gonna bite who?
Them. The person who is making this point that, they're going to, like I said, they're going to do it in a sort of boisterous, type of way, but it's going to go right back and bite them. I'm also seeing here that you've been getting messages again from we'll say your inner self, your spirit, your gut, and again, take note, don't discount the messages you're getting, because they're very meaningful and they're right on, and they never take you in the wrong direction, so pay attention to that. I'm also seeing a little bit further down the line, I see someone reaching out to you, and I'm also going to say, who do you know that smokes a pipe? I see a pipe smoker in here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Leprechaun has a pipe.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you've got one on your shoulder. That'd be pretty cool if you do. I want to come over and get that pot of gold from him. Then there's, there's also someone I see that, this is what I'm saying, so as ridiculous as it might sound, maybe you can make sense of this, all right? This is someone that, a big meat eater, all right? A big meat eater and they're overweight. And what you have to do is, I would suggest, is maybe sort of, not tell them, but maybe suggest that they might want to go see their doctor and sort of get what do they call those, EKG, or a stress test, and suggest they get a stress test. I'm seeing that on here, so it's not you anyway, but it's someone
You're funny.
It's someone
Only Harvey has the meat. We have the meat.
That's right. That's right. And how? And also, again, I'm going to go on again. I still see there's something here that you're sort of running away from, that you don't want to face. Why? I don't know. But, take the time, like I said, I remember last week in the reading, take time and sort of observe that and what is it. But I see it that if there's one thing that you sort of don't want to look at, that you're trying to get away from. So, and I see it's causing a little bit of stress and anxiety and upset. So, you might want to look at that a bit, because there's really no reason for it. So there you go. And who do you know? This could even be, okay. If you haven't heard recently, you're going to hear shortly, all right? And I don't know who it is, but you're going to hear it if you haven't heard it recently. Shortly, you're going to hear of a pregnancy. Someone in your family, friends, neighborhood, that's coming up soon. You're going to be seeing that. Let's see. Who owns, who's got the nasty cat? Somebody's got a nasty cat that sort of growls and hisses. I'm seeing.
I don't know.
Yep, I see that.
Where's all your guests tonight?
I'm the guest. Poor me. I'm the only guest. You should come on the show because you're so positive.
What happened to Anthony? Anthony was supposed to show up. What happened to him?
No, Anthony was here last week, remember?
Yeah, but he said he was coming again this week.
No, he didn't say this week. He said several weeks. He didn't say this week.
He did?
Yeah. See,
I thought he said, I'll see you next week.
no. Nah, you're gonna have to rewatch the show on YouTube or Facebook. No, he didn't say next
I
week.
don't have Facebook.
Oh, good for you. Well, I don't either for another.
I don't need Facebook. I got too much energy as it is.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's right. And I don't have Facebook for another 17 days because I'm in Facebook jail.
What happened to you? Now what happened?
Well, you know, people put up these on Facebook, you know, people post things, right? So,
Yeah.
and I responded to one, and it was this person that was attacking like certain people, you know, shouldn't be living, and you know, certain people are filled with hate, and all I did is point out at, oh, and look at the person that it's coming from. But because I pointed that out, it's, you know, it's not that certain people don't deserve to live. That's not hate. But if you point out the fact that, well, look where it's coming from, then that's hate. Imagine. So I guess they didn't.
That's terrible.
It is.
That's terrible.
That's right. They didn't like the adjectives I used. All right, and
You got to be careful, though.
very on there. You're not kidding.
You better be careful.
And how? You really do have to be careful. All right, so let's go back to the reading, and see if we can wrap this up with something. Let's see. Well, hold on. Let me see what's going to jump out at me the most. All right, I'm going to also. Who's the farmer in your life? I see a farmer here. That's you'll be hearing from in the not too distant future. Got me, or they could live out in, you know, maybe not necessarily a farmer, but, you know, lives out in farm country, shall we say. I see that also jumping out at me. And, all right, here we go. Well, the things I've been talking about, all right? I see some wonderful transformation in here, see? So remember I just said a little while ago about whatever it is you're running from, right? Slow down, stop, take a nice look, because I see a fantastic, wonderful transformation. Once you do that, you're going to be at peace, and you're going to feel really, you know, that you've resolved the issue, and it'll be like opening a whole new door for you. So, there you have it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And, you know, and as I always say, you really can't go wrong, because you're so, you know, you just got all that positive energy just bombarding you. So you really can't go wrong, but.
Well, thank you very much. That's the way everybody should be.
I agree with you.
We're
100.
all different. We all have our own ways, though. I mean, everybody's beautiful in my eyes.
And me, but that does, you know, at the same time, right? Like me, I know there's definitely room for improvement.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm going to let you go, and you have a wonderful night, and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
the
calling. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so there's our first happy caller. And we know now she's a Democrat. So see, there, unlike they want you to believe some of these right-wingers, see, there's proof in the pudding. And she's right. We're all wonderful. We are all wonderful. So I'll keep going down the list here. And when you talk about, you know, I always say, you know, talk about karma. When you let out good karma always comes back to you. No question about it. You know, you send out love, you get love back. And you know, when karma is negative, it comes back depending on the severity of the negativity, right? It comes back threefold, it comes back fivefold, and it comes back tenfold. So here's some negative karma, and to me, of course, the caller, she's going to be upset when she probably hears this, but don't be. Talk about karma, who tested positive for COVID. I think couldn't have happened to a meaner, cold-hearted, selfish person who tested positive for COVID? Hillary tested positive for COVID. Imagine that. How could that have happened, right? But it did. All right, so that's one other thing. And of course, we can go on and talk about climate action, because I like climate action. These people, they scream about climate change and climate this. And you know, we got to do this. They can go on and on and on about climate. Well, they're always changing the term, but it's climate action now, because see, that way it doesn't really have a meaning. It's so broad that it encompasses everything, right? It encompasses everything. So I hear them again today. Oh, speaking of that, one thing I have to do, of course, one of the big climate action proponents, Miley Cyrus or Siley Myris, whatever, I don't even know it. Miley Cyrus. What is it, Miley Cyrus? Miley Cyrus, big climate action proponent. We're going to die in 5 years because of all the pollution. Poor thing, what happened? Her private jet had to make an emergency landing because it got struck by lightning. Poor Miley. Poor thing. And so to continue on about climate action, because that's another area that boggles my mind, that people take in these climate action advocates. They believe everything they say. You know, what is it? Line, hook, and sinker. You know, they're jumping right on board with it. They're going to give up everything. And in the meantime, the people like this, Miley Cyrus, they're laughing like anything. I can't believe these idiots believe everything we tell them. Again, God gave everyone free will. Use it. That's why he gave it to you. You're letting people like this, these climate action people, tell you all kinds of lies. The sea level's rising. You know what? At high tide, the sea level is rising. See, that's what they don't tell you. And they'll tell you, well, the scientists are telling you that we need to do something. They don't tell you what scientists or what they're telling you. They don't tell you what kind of scientists they are. They don't tell you how many scientists they are. I mean, for all we know, it could be 5 telling you that, you know, you got to do something. And the icebergs are melting, you know. But what they're not telling you, you know, again, let's exude fear and, you know, keep on propelling fear and trying to make it snowball, and they'll throwing fear at you with this angle with the COVID, and they're bombarding you from on top with fear about the war in the Ukraine. And then the administration is doing even more fear-mongering, you know, about blaming other people for all their inaction here and for deteriorating life in the United States for absolutely no good reason at all. And they just go on, and people sit there and can't get enough lies and fear-mongering and outright just moronic crap being thrown at them. They love it. It's like, wake up. You know, I bet you, how many people out there called your politicians this week for whatever, to either agree with them or disagree with them? 0. Maybe not, but I'm not, you know, because if everybody called, or if enough people called your politicians to let them know, how about a little action here? How about a little movement over there? We wouldn't be in the stage of the game that we are today. I have no doubt about it at all. So that's that. And for climate change, and I keep saying it, unless you can control the sun, you can't control the climate, no matter what. Anybody out there, if you think you can prove me wrong, I'd love to hear from you, because I don't think you can prove me wrong. If you can't control the sun, you can't control the climate. I mean, if today's supposed to be, here's a good example. Today's supposed to be 50 degrees. That's the norm. So, and that's what these climate action people say it should be. It's going to be 50 degrees. So the sun is out, and it's 49 degrees. And all right, next hour it's going to be 50 degrees. And then all of a sudden, all these clouds roll in, right? So now it brings the temperature down. So what are they going to do? Say we have to, do what? More emissions to make the clouds dissipate? They're going to have an angle to get you to, just to take all the power over you. They want all the power they can have over you. That's all it is. Wake up, think about it, listen, look at what they're proposing. I mean, isn't it nice? The gas goes, thank God it's getting warm out now. So, when gas is $7 or $7.50 a gallon, at least, fortunately, we can ride bikes around. But, I mean, who wants to ride a bike when it's 3 degrees below zero? Not this guy. So there you go. That's much for that. Oh, and on a bright note, this is on a bright note. Kid Rock has been, well, first of all, he's did this, I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe a month ago, but if you want to check out a really, really good new music video, check out Kid Rock, We the People. I love it. The chorus is, Let's Go Brandon. I mean, how can you go wrong with a song like that? But you got to listen to the words. And it's all about, using your constitutional rights, which the left is doing anything and everything in their power to take them away from you, including stampeding over the Constitution to take them away from you. And again, that's the sad part, because people don't know the Constitution. So these politicians are taking away your freedoms and your rights because they're banking that you're out there, that you're that naive and that you're that stupid and that dumb that they can take away the rights that are guaranteed to you in the Constitution by steamrolling over it, and you're not going to say anything. And that's exactly what's happening. Very sad in America. And the other thing, going back to Kid Rock, okay? What's he going on about? He's talking about how he can't be canceled. And I love it. And why does he say he can't be canceled? Because he says, I don't give an F. And that's exactly right. He says he doesn't answer to anyone. So good for him. Got to have more people like him. Stand your ground. And you know how it is with these left radicals. If you use your God-given free will, you're no good, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, you hate this, you hate that. It's incredible. And what else did I say? Oh, and this is just a little note, because, like I said, the left, they have to keep the divisiveness going and, and the hate going and the sexism going in order, because, they know they really don't have any accomplishments other than, I know we had the wonderful caller say that they gave us money. All right, well, but they gave us our money. So it's not, it didn't come from anywhere. It didn't come from out of the sky. Of course, don't get me wrong, I would love $1 million to fall from out of the sky. I just don't think it's going to happen. But other than that, if somebody wants to enlighten me, I'd be glad to hear it also. What have the Democrats accomplished since this new administration took control of the government? What is it now, 15 months ago? 15 months ago. I don't know of any accomplishments. I know of a lot of failures, so I don't need to be reminded of those. And if anybody wants to call, although, and doesn't know what their failures are, I'd be more than happy to let you know what they are. Because in my book, there's many, 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 like I said at the beginning. And, all right, let's see. And then I love it. And here just sort of just proves a little point of mine. Howard Stern now is upset and distraught that all these COVID mandates are ending. And you know why? Because the wackos are winning. See, it's not about, taking away your freedoms and giving you your freedoms back and believing in the science and, listening to King Fauci and the CDC flip-flopping from day to day and week to week on the guidelines. No, what does he say? The wackos are winning. See, it's got nothing to do with another one. And why is it always these radicals? They're the ones that try and divide everything. They can't say the anti-mandate people are winning. It's wackos, because, see, if you don't agree with the left, radical, progressive thought mindset, then all of a sudden, you're a wacko, you're this, you're that. All it is again, it's a side. It's not we're all here together. No, you're either on that side or you're on this side. It's pathetic. I mean, these people are making tons and tons of money. I don't know. Like I said, I listen to Howard Stern. Here's my story with Howard Stern. This got to be, I'm going to say, 35 years ago. Around then, give or take a few years. First time I go to Philadelphia, right? I go down to Philly. A friend of mine was going down there for a job interview. All right? So I was been in self-employed forever. So he says, do you want to come to, I need a mint. He says, would you like to come to Philly with me for this job interview? And he was telling me, I don't have to pay for a hotel, however long it was. I think it was 3 nights or whatever. It was a long interview. They were paying for his hotel. So I figured a free trip to Philly. I had never been there. Why not? And I can remember. So we get there. We drive down. And we're driving down Market Street. We got off the Schuylkill Expressway. Driving down Market Street. And I'm playing with the radio. And who do I come on? And it's Howard Stern. I said, all right, I never heard him before. And what's he start talking about? He starts talking about, it was, wait a minute, Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics. And so she's on there and she's talking about she's bisexual. And what is it? He's asking her, what does another woman's breast feel like in your hands? And it's like, come on. All I could think of is like, what is his audience? 12 to 14-year-old boys. But anyway, so that's my Howard Stern story. So, again, anybody has any comments, opinions, I'd love to hear you. You want a reading? 640-3091. So I'm sure you want a little break from me about hearing about my pro-American views. And it's good, like, so now you know I'm not a Republican. I've never been a Republican. I voted both sides of the fence. And just so you'll know, the first time King Obama ran, I voted for him, just the first time. So there you have it. But let's do a reading of sort of what's going on, where the direction we sort of can look in the next week, and let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen. Of course, and what I'm also, before I look at the cards, what I'm going to say is, of course, they're talking about COVID like Fauci. We may have to go back to mandates. You know why? Because the Dems are in such a hole coming up to the midterms. And people are on to them about the discrepancies with the election. Yes, there were. And if you say no, there weren't, if you're afraid to even maybe think that there might be, you have a problem, not me. But they're hoping if they don't improve, they're going to bring COVID back so they can sort of, have all these dead people that are still on the voting rolls vote for them via mail-in ballots. All right. So, of course, very, very good. See? All right. So first, we start with the Nine of Swords, and look at it. Of course, it's all, you could say these Nine of Swords, all right? That's all the tension and the anxiety and the negativity and the undoings and the people's rights and freedoms being trampled on. You could see the person in bed, they're so distraught and they're upset. They can't believe what's going on. And look at them. They're in a very dark spot. It's black, all right? And we're all in such a dark spot now, wondering, when is this going to end? Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? It's just nowhere in sight. So, and it is, unfortunately, a lot of people, they're losing sleep over it. There's a lot of people out there that are so stressed and distraught. They don't, with this inflation, they don't know how they're going to pay their rent. Or do they pay their rent and let the electricity go off? Or do they pay the electricity bill and take the chance of the landlord evicting them, or the bank sending them a foreclosure notice because of this inflation, because the people that are supposed to be working for America are only in fact working for themselves and don't care about the constituents. And that's how naive they are. And of course, the bright side of all that, losing sleep and worrying about, things that we have no control over. It's really sad, but that's the state that this country is in now, a very sad and unfortunate state and place to be. However, and see, here we are, we're all upset, we're distressed, we're frazzled about what's going on. All right, so, but now, as things go on, and not too far, as you can see, now we have the Four of Cups, all right? So, cups are emotions, and every time, because I always say we're not talking love, we're just talking emotions, happiness, sadness, calm, that type of thing. Love, but not in a sexual way. Love one another, that type of thing. So as you can see, what's happening here, once you realize how stressed out you are, all right, everyone, what we need to do is everyone just needs to sort of sit back, go into a nice favorite sort of calming place for you where you always feel relaxed and you always feel warmth and invited and, just a nice smooth place. And, it could be in your mind's eye. Just take yourself there. You want, if you love the beach and you can't get to a beach, you can take yourself there. All right? And of course, we see what we have, as you can see in the card. He's looking at the Three Cups there. All right, so we know what we have, which really, everything we have is a blessing. Look at it that way. However, trying to sort of improve our situation to make things better for us. So, and if you can see it, right? He's nice and relaxed there, looking about all that we have. But the thing is, while you're that relaxed, sort of let your mind clear and let your thoughts become positive. And you'll see that there is other options out there for us, but we're not going to realize those other options until that time where we can, relax and get back to nature and, sort of ground ourselves and nourish and allow our spiritual self to all the positive energy within our spirit self to come from the inside and glow to the outside world. And then, of course, what we have at the end here is, there we are. We have the Eight of Cups. So, as you could see, then finally it comes to the point, all right, in this case, we know all that we have. There's lots of emotion here, but what are we going to do? We have to, it's without a choice, we have to turn around and start making the trek and, demanding. We have to start calling up our politicians. I mean, it's a look at it. It's a rocky road. There's obstacles to overcome, and that's what has to happen in order for this country, the fantastic, great United States of America, to improve life for everyone, And remember the American dream. If you want to bring the American dream back, it's great to dream, but think about what these anti-Americans are doing. They're not dreaming. They're taking action. They're taking action to destroy you. They're doing, behind closed doors, all kinds of activity. And that's what, finally, you have to realize that that's all going on. And you're going to have to start making this trek over the obstacles, over the potholes, at the murky, going through the mud. You have to clear the mud out of the water, get to the nice clean water before we get a nice new clear sight, clear vision of where America needs to go, the direction we need to go for. I know it's a big challenge, but you have to be up for the challenge. We're Americans. So there you have it in a nutshell. If you don't take action, if you don't take the bull by the horns, it's only going to get worse. They're going to keep trampling on your rights. They're going to keep taking all your liberties away, like they are. This just popped in my head, so I have to mention this again, because see, for these radicals to sort of succeed, they have to keep instilling hate in everyone, and as they say, divide and conquer. It works well, but now what do I see today again? What are they trying to sort of give rebirth to, all right, is the LGBTQXRZ 2419 AN thing, whatever it is. Now, it used to just be, Gay and Lesbian Alliance. Now it's 50,000 things. What are they out there again? Trans rights are human rights. Everybody in this country has rights. Again, here we go. Trans rights are human rights. Obviously, those poor people, they're uneducated, they're naive, they're outright stupid when it comes to their rights, because if they read the Constitution, they wouldn't need a sign that says trans rights are human rights, because it's right in the Constitution that they have rights. They're no different than any other American. There's no difference between them or me or you, but yeah, trans rights. And the other, well, of course, that just brought this in my head about the guy swimmer there, just because he changed his name from Lee to Leah. Now he gets to compete against women. I mean, hoax, fraud, cheat, liar, selfish, disrespectful, you name it, anything negative that you can think of, that's what this guy is. I mean, really, what is he accomplishing other than cheating all these real women out of competition? The guy is still a guy. He's as flat-chested as I am. When he has to urinate, he goes the same way I do. He stands. He doesn't sit. Come on, people. Again, free will, brain cells, God gave them to you. But you have to use them in order for them to work. As I keep saying, George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, on one of his old albums, it might be Uncle Jam, Want You, I don't know, but on one of them it's like this 30 or 40 second live clip, and what does he say? Think. It ain't illegal yet. But that's what these, let's face it, a lot of the media is trying to do to these young things. They're brainwashing them. You can't think. You don't know what to think, because we're telling you to think this, and if you don't think this, then there's something wrong with you. You're a hater, you're a racist, you're a sexist, but think, because it's not true. All they want to do is put you in the corner, and then once they put you in the corner, then they want to slam the door shut on you and make you stay there. They never want you to come out of that corner. They never want you to think for yourself. They never want you to make your own decisions. I can't stress it enough that people just keep going on and on and on, that they believe all these lies that they've been hearing for, well, I'm going to say for a good 5 years now. Six actually, since we know who the Trump announced his candidacy. They've been lying to you ever since, and people just eat up the lies. And again, anybody want to come on? I'd be glad to have anybody come on and have a nice debate with you, and I'd like to see you prove me wrong. You're going to have a hard time doing it. Anyway, let's go on to, this is we'll do a psychic oracle reading, all right? And just to see what sort of tone this sets for everyone. And let's see if it relates to the other cards, or, well, it's, all right, it's not too bad. So this is sort of like a continuation from the other reading. The first card we have harmony, all right? That's what we have to strive for. Again, open up your eyes. As Judge Judy says, put your listening ears on. There's so many people out there, it's like, you don't hear anything. It's like someone cut off your ears. But harmony, look at it, harmony. It's nice and bright. It's loving, unlike divisiveness, which is hate. It's negativity. It's cold. It's isolation. And once you get isolated, whether you want to realize it or not, your heart goes cold. Once your heart goes cold, you're in deep trouble. And you are. So, think about, regardless, you might not have the same opinion about the subject as I do. You might disagree with someone about, the action they think you should take as opposed to they should take. And that's all well and fine, but, accept it. We're all individuals. We all have, we all know what our flaws are. You don't need to tell me what my flaws are. I already know them. And I don't tell you what your flaws are because I know that you know them. So try harmony. It'd just make everything so much better. It would take the blinders off so many people. It will open up so many people's hearts. And until that happens, all right, perhaps this might be, is actually what is needed is it says emotional withdrawal. All right, so it goes back to here. It's emotional withdrawal in a good way. The emotional withdrawal we're talking about here is the dissent that you have with somebody who has a different viewpoint. The anger you have when you can't convince someone to see things exactly the same way you see them. Emotional withdrawal in the sense that, reel in your racism remarks about, you think, will say like, because you think the border should be open to anyone that wants to come in. I'm one of those who think otherwise. So, when you come face to face with someone, then you take in, emotional withdrawal in that sense, in a good way, so that, your emotions don't get the better of you. You don't get angry, and then you start name calling, and then you start using angry words. And what happens when you start using angry words? All you do is you attract more anger towards yourself. You absorb more anger. So that's what we have to do. And of course, if we do it, what is it? Look at it. Positive movement forward. And look at the card. There's the sun. There's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's calling every single one of us. Every single one of us. Arms wide open. Come on this way. Fail me. I'm sure the sun feels different to everyone, but the difference it feels to everyone is warmth. It's beautiful. It's invigorating. It's recharging. And look at it. It's clear sailing. So once we do that, it's just back to the American dream. But there's work to do. So come on. If everybody, did their part on that, would be so much better off, and would be in a lot happier place, would be a lot more comfortable with each other. We wouldn't be at each other's throats like they are on The View all the time, constantly. And if anybody, I'd love to have Whoopi as a guest, because, boy, would I like to go head-to-head with her, because I could tell her in a nice way that everything that she calls Republicans or even, people like me, I'm a white guy. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a racist. I don't hate people. I'm for equal rights for everyone. What I'm not for is special rights for special groups. Again, if we're created equal rights. Just because you say, we'll say like the LGBTQ XRS 2493 group, we need a special bill to protect us. No, you don't. You're no different than anyone else. The Constitution applies to me. It applies to you. It applies to the LGBTQ 20,000 inclusions, whatever it is. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is. But don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't fall for the lies about you need special protection, you need special rights. We need to passed this special bill, talking about special bills, this just popped in my head. The Equal Rights Amendment that they're talking about now, about sort of, giving that motion again, bringing that back to life all of a sudden. See, because the midterms are coming, so they need some. This is what gets me. Equal Rights Amendment. It's for women's rights. How can all the women's libbers out there, or whatever the correct term is today, how can they say they're for women's rights? They want women's rights to be equal when they're allowing this Lee Thomas to compete as a woman, when in fact he's anatomically male. But yeah, so it's either, again, you want equal rights or you don't, but you can't say you want equal rights for women when you're supporting unequal rights for women when it comes to competition in sports. So there you go. Anyway, we only have a couple of minutes left. Whoever was watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If I bored you, next time you could call in with comments or topics you'd like to discuss and make it a little more exciting for you. Like I said, I have the gift to gab. Fortunately, that's why I'm a part-time bartender. So, I could do pretty good at chewing the fat with anyone and everyone, as they say. I don't need to know you, and I'll have a good conversation with everyone. I try to make everybody see the light. I try to help people look inside themselves, as difficult as it might be sometimes to do that. But by doing that, that's the only way you're going to grow and sort of be more accepting and be more inclusive, is to, look at our dark side sometimes, or our faults, as I said earlier, and improve our faults. What can we work on to improve ourselves? And by improving ourselves, we improve everybody's life around us that we come in contact with. We make it a brighter day for them. So, and there you go. And one of the best ways to start is, when you're outside, even you'll feel it. You're looking around. We'll say you're in the supermarket and you see someone, you'll be able to tell, give them the smile, because there's people out there that could really go for a nice smile today. And we only have 1 minute left. So again, thanks again for watching today. My name's David B. I'm the readings guy, 603-404-9338, biffid@yahoo.com, biffid.com, thereadingsguy.com, and there you have it. Give me a call, get in contact. Any questions, you want a reading, you want any topics to be talked about on the show, by all means, let me know. And until next time, everyone, remember to try and enlighten just someone just for 5 seconds. It makes all the difference in the world to them. And remember, you are a winner.